Why, yes, Google, Aruba. That's exactly the map that I'm looking for right now. Okay, here we are again. I don't even know where Aruba is now that I think about it. That's how not worldly I am. Don't really get to go on very many vacations anymore. Maybe when I have actual money, be able to travel again, but until that point, not really. Anyway, we will get started in a couple of minutes. We are deep in enemy territory with a couple more objectives, but after that, we will be good. Hey Marie, how you doing? Welcome back. Yes, the theme of Final Fantasy Classic. I was mentioning it earlier when we were doing the main campaign. Sometimes I listen to the theme, the prologue on the title screen of the early Final Fantasies 1 through 3, and I'll start humming the reprise, which is the one that they added in like 4, 5, and 6, where it goes da 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 da, that thing. And then I'm just surprised that it's not there, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that didn't start to be a thing until 4. I forgot. So, hang on, let me adjust the mic down a little bit. There we go, that should be good. So, but yes, it is in fact a classic. It's one of those things that just sticks in your head. Which I guess makes sense considering the series was trying its hardest to be relevant at the time it was made, and they created a music track that is relevant in that it sticks in your head. So, alright, yeah, I gotta save to this file, although I might save to file 2. Well, if we get back, I'll probably save to file 3 because it'll have been a successful excursion. So. Of course, looking at our HP values, you might be wondering, if you weren't here for the last one, you might be wondering, how the hell are you making it in the unknown palace on the 5th floor? The answer? Very carefully. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Final Fantasy II Soul of Rebirth, the stream edition. Last time we began our adventure in the afterlife after beating the main campaign on the stream before the last stream. We made it as far as getting 2 of the ultimate weapons last time. We got the Wild Rose for Scott, which maximizes his strength and intelligence, and we got the Wyvern Lance for Ricard, which maximizes his strength and agility. We actually also got Joseph's ultimate weapon in my particular case, which is the Yoichi's bow as a drop. So now there's actually only one more ultimate weapon left to get, and there's 2 pieces of ultimate armor. And one of them is not the Genji armor, as it turns out, so it's actually worth using. So, excuse me, those are going to be our objectives days. Get the last ultimate weapon and the 2 pieces of ultimate armor. Then we're going to exit stage wherever the hell I have to go to get out of here. We'll rest up, we'll resupply, we'll restock, and then we'll pop back in for another excursion. Sound good? Hopefully, because that's the plan, because we still got 2 ribbons to get, so. Hey, Conker, it's going good. How's it going for you there? I'm about to run into a monster in about 1 step because this room is trapped, but other than that, it's going pretty good. Let's see. I've got half my Phoenix Downs left, and I've got a lot more than half of my Ethers, so let's just, like, blanket cast that. There we go. Pretty good. Ricard's not quite at full, but that's fine. He'll be fine. Might get cured to level 10 if we keep this up, although I'm not really certain about that. We'll see. Oh, Matriarch. Actually, you've got something that I can use if you drop it for me. Yeah, just cast Ultima. Honestly, at this point, with 3 out of our 4 ultimate weapons on our party, and Ultima technically is Minwu's ultimate weapon, quote-unquote, he gets an ultimate staff, but it really only helps him to cast Ultima better. You can use it as a weapon, but I don't usually. So, where the hell am I going? There's, like, a hole in the wall, like, right over there. I don't know why I'm bothering going all this way. Oh, whatever. But yeah, see, we can one-shot the Malboro Menaces now with just Ricard and Scott's weapons without even, like, bothering with any buffs, so that's pretty helpful. Doing alright, playing a bit of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon again. I would assume that's what PMD stands for. I think so. We talked about it before. Yeah, and next part of the sentence makes sense then. Trying to recruit Groudon despite being fairly low leveled. Oh boy. I think I remember, doesn't the recruitment formula isn't part of it dependent on your level? So like if you're low leveled, you have a lower chance. I forget. It's been so long. But yeah, good luck with that. Hopefully it goes well. That's a pretty decent chunk of drops. That's a whole power set right there. Twist Headband, Power Sash, Power Armlet. See, the Twist Headband's nice over the Gold Hairpin. It gives a little bit less magic defense, but it also, and it doesn't give you agility, it gives you strength, which means that Scott and Ricard don't need it, so I guess I'll give it to Joseph. But it also gives you resistance to Mind Elemental spells, so it might not be a bad idea for that to be given to, even to Minwoo, honestly, at least for now. Eventually, I'm planning on getting Minwoo full status protection as well, especially since right now he's just got flat-out 99% magic defense, so he doesn't really need anything else. Ricard will be there soon enough. I don't know if Scott or Joseph. Joseph definitely won't get there, but Scott might. So, but yeah, there's like a secret wall right here. I don't know what I'm doing. There's also one right here. No, there isn't. I'm too far through the hallway. There is one right next to the Wyvern Lance chest, though, so we'll just go through that one. Oh, Dark Behemoth again. Hello. Surprise, motherfucker. I'm gonna blink Ricard, actually. And then you keep practicing Berserk, although cast it on Joseph, because he just attacks now, so... No think, only attack. Correct, it's based on level of the leader Pokemon. Okay, yep, so... Hopefully, you still have good luck, because your recruitment rate being low will not help in that department, but hopefully you'll have some decent luck and it won't matter too much. So... Alright, get Ricard boosted up. Joseph, you just keep attacking. I did not mean to defend there. I meant to cast Protect on Ricard, but he can do that next turn, so it's fine. And with the 2 blinks up, Dark Behemoth does not cast any spells. I think Ultimate Weapon is the only one that casts any spells, so... And we don't need this shell on Minwoo. I'm just practicing so that I, get the muscle memory for it, basically, when we do it in boss fights. Yeah, casting Berserk 3 times in a single fight on a rank 7 enemy should get Scott plenty of experience with the spell, and again, with each cast of it, it's kind of like how Minwoo currently is, although Joseph just did it himself. But it's kind of like how Minwoo's doing currently with the Ultima spell. Basically, you get about, I don't think it's quite 500 damage per cast of it for Scott. I think it's closer to like 300 damage per level that he gets on each person, but... I mean, that's still not bad at all, Like, that's still pretty powerful. So, we didn't bring any elixirs, did we? No, we didn't. Okay, well, we'll have to use a couple of ethers next battle. One for Ricard, one for Minwoo. Maybe not next battle, but... Well, one for Minwoo for certain next battle, but we'll make it. It's fine. Oh, good. This again. Ow! Jesus Christ, man. Slow down. I haven't even had a chance to set my feet yet. Like, holy... Okay, hold on. Do that, and then do, well, we're blinking Scott, so you protect yourself. Hopefully we get the turn off before he attacks. Yes, we did. Good. I love when the crit does less damage than the regular attack that he got off the previous turn. That's great. You do that. Actually, you throw an ether. You start throwing ethers each people's way because we're going to need them before long. And once we get Blink up on Ricard, it won't matter because we'll all be good to go. See, like, he's already got level 5 Berserk now, so it'll be pretty good going forward. And now we're, I think, untouchable, or at the very least, pretty damn close to untouchable, so... and then get a shell going on yourself again. Get a Berserk on yourself. You continue to toss another ether his way, and then you toss another ether your own way. Scott's still pretty good on his MP for right now, so we won't bother. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, no, this behemoth is out for blood, pretty much. Yeah, he's like, okay, well, nope, you killed my brother like 5 seconds ago. There's nothing else that I could be except bloodthirsty right now. Which, I mean, I guess fair enough, Honestly, if we keep going like this, Scott might also end up getting close to 2,000 HP. I know Joseph will break the 1000 HP mark, even though he's only about halfway there right now. He'll definitely break it. Minwoo, I don't think he'll quite break 1000 HP by the end of the game here. And Ricard's definitely going to be over. Like, I don't think there's any question in my mind at all that it's going to happen, so... Well, we'll get there. We'll see what happens. Which way am I going to get out of here? This way. That's what I get for taking a day off, not looking at the map for a whole day. Where am I going? I don't remember. Ambushed by 4 Orukats. Okay, well... I mean, death is scary, but this is okay, maybe. This is fine. I mean, think about the premiums that we can get from this, other than the fact that Joseph is down, but, you know, think about the premiums we could get. Alright, well, we can have... I think we should be able to take out 1 Orukat per person. Like, you can use Ultima, and then the other 2 can attack, and we should be able to get it down to just 1. Yeah, for sure. And then we can get Joseph back up with the Phoenix down, and then go from there. So... And have a chance at some premium items. Because we still need those 2 ribbons. Well, we may not need them. I think I made them sound like they were a lot more important last time than they may be. But, I mean, they're very important. They do give you full status protection, obviously. So that's pretty damn important. But, at the same time, if we have gold hairpins and twist headbands on everybody, we might be okay. I mean, I'd consider that okay enough to actually get through the rest of the palace, but I would like the ribbons. We didn't get any drops in the main campaign, so I wouldn't mind getting a few here. I shouldn't say anything, though, because knowing me, I just jinxed it, and now I won't get anything, so... Well, we got 3 things, actually. Okay, 2 more Diamond Cuirasses and another Protect Ring, so that's not terrible. It gives us instant death protection. Which, at the moment, isn't a terrible thing. I mean, we could definitely use it. So, Joseph specifically could definitely use it. Like, and honestly, that's okay. If we had 3 Protect Rings and we had like gold hairpins and twist headbands all over the place, Minwoo's going to get full status protection from the Black Robe, and there's an Aegis Shield later on in this place that we can get for him, so that'll get him full status protection. I just have to figure out who I'm going to give the ribbon to at this point, honestly. I feel like it's just going to come down to magic defense, and that probably means it's going to be Joseph, because I think he has the least, yeah, out of anybody. Ricard's got the most, so he's probably the least likely to actually get one. Honestly, his gear at the moment is probably fine, like, for the rest of it. I might switch the gold hairpin for the twist headband when we get the ribbon, but honestly, his gear is probably fine for the remainder of this. So, use a hide potion instead of doing it the other way. I'll do it that way, too. Okay. 22 of those left, 18 ethers. Let's see how we do. We got 2 more doors to go through. No, 3 more doors, yeah. So this one will actually lead to Minwoo's ultimate weapon. Do I want to grab this one real quick and then get out? Might not be a bad idea. Yeah, I'll go grab it before I go. Why not? Everything in here is trying to murder me, as you would expect. It is the final dungeon, so... It's just funny that that behemoth specifically was like, nope, smack. Yeah, you know, I think you should be able to, the 2 of you should be able to handle Cat Elbow Paws on your own. Maybe not. In Scott's case, maybe not, because his damage output is splitting 2 ways because he's using 2 swords, so... He might actually be, out of the 3 of them, one of the weakest in terms of melee DPS at the moment, so... Like Joseph, because his attack power is entirely focused on 1 weapon, so he's got a little bit of an easier time of it, but... I just wanted to show off effective dual wielding again. It worked so well in the main playthrough, I might as well try it again, you know? So... And just go all out. We should just get rid of this one this time. So probably what I should do is I should have Scott go after the lower defense enemies with his swords, because... Joseph and Ricard should be able to... Oh, thank you. Should be able to take things out a little bit easier with their higher attack power. So, alright, I'm going to save in... I'm going to save here, actually, because I want this to stay here just in case... Because that thing happened the one time where it was like I lost the footage for one of the streams when we played Final Fantasy Legend 2. That's why I always try to save to separate slots now, just to be safe. I don't want to save over top of this one, because then it's like, this will just leave us exactly where we left off, so... We'll save over top of this. I don't need this one anymore. I've got a clear file, so. And actually, the funny thing is with the clear file, you can go back and hunt for any bestiary entries that you missed, and I think if I remember correctly, our bestiary is pretty damn full, all things considered. Yeah, we've got 90% bestiary here. We've got a few bosses left in here, and I think a couple of enemies that I haven't seen yet. Yeah, there's a couple of enemies around that I haven't seen. I think we saw most of them. There's a couple in the... okay, 1, 2, 3... Yeah, 3 enemies in the unknown cave I didn't see, and then 1, 2, 3, 4... I think those are all bosses. I think 3 of those are bosses, so there's like 4 or 5 enemies that we didn't see in the Unknown Palace. And then there's only a couple of enemies in the regular game that we missed. And I could go back and get 100% bestiary if I actually cared about it. I don't know if I do, but I know I do care about the Stardust Rod for Minwu. He can finally upgrade over that regular staff into something much stronger. But obviously, we're going to have to fight something in order to really take advantage of it. Yamatano Orochi, a Tiamat palette swap. Fair enough, I've got resistance to all the elements that you use regularly. Stardust Rod is real nice for Minwu because it gives him not only plus 99 spirit, it also gives him plus 99 intelligence and plus 99 magic, as if he needed more MP, but now you can get him more MP if he so chooses to get it. But yeah, so what that'll actually do, not only does it make him a powerhouse on black magic now, if you wanted to use him for that, so if he still had like Fire, Blizzard, or Thunder, or if he taught him Flare, he can do pretty well with all of those. But it also means that Ultima will deal more damage now, so if we get to the point where we're not buffing everybody, we will give that a shot, and Minwu will make a... I should move Berserk to this slot, actually, because I'm not going to use Protect again. Hell, I should probably take Berserk off of Joseph, because he's not going to need it anymore either. So, I don't know, I'll figure that out, but... Yeah, so Ultima will hit even harder now. I believe, if the formula is exactly what I said last time, where it's basically Spirit times 100, it will hit for 990 per level of the spell that hits. Why did I use Barrier rather than Blink? Whoops. Oh well, that's fine. We'll just fix that real quick. Just keep attacking, and then get a Protect up on yourself. And then we'll get a Blink up on Scott. We don't really need Barrier in this particular fight, because all he uses is elemental spells. Is it a he or is it a she? I don't know what a Yamatano Orochi is in, like, Japanese lore. I'd have to look that one up. I guess it gives me an excuse not to cast Shell, because I'm not going to need it now. But, you know. Alright, and then everybody else just attacks. Hell, if Joseph and Ricard hit hard enough here, yeah, I don't think this thing's going to last long enough for Scott to even attack. Just realized, may have misled me a bit earlier. Recruitment rate is set per Pokemon, but can be boosted depending on level and if you're equipped with the Friend Bow. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about the Friend Bow, because that helps out a little bit with your recruitment rates as well. I forget what it does to the formula, but I think it's helpful. I see PMD talk. Yeah, Conker's trying to recruit Groudon right now, despite being slightly low-leveled, so I wish him luck. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully it works out as well as this Yamatano Orochi fight, which is now over. We took some hits, but it's okay. I'll take it. Got a Phoenix down. Fine, fair enough. I'll take it, I guess. Why didn't you use that to revive yourself? It's funny because I don't think the... Yeah, as a matter of fact, I know for a fact that definitely the spirit that Minwu has is not applying to these cure spells outside of battle, because in battle, if he uses Cure 9 with the Stardust Rod equipped, he gets like 400 to 450 healing on a target all cure spell at this level. But yeah, so there you go. It's Spirit 99, Intelligence 99, Magic 99, so you pick it. He's got the magic for it. He's just missing out on the agility a little bit, but you know, he can fix that later. So. And other than that, I think we're all ahead full. Now we just got to get Joseph something. Let's go get him a present, shall we? Oh good, more Orukots, thank you. I'll take that. I don't even know if I'm going to get a chance to use this ether, but I'll throw it anyway, just in case. Adds a flat 10% chance to your rate. Oh, that's not bad, then. Okay, we got one thing. Another Protect Ring. Well, we'll all be protected from instant death now, at the very least, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. We have to worry about ambushes, potentially, because I'm taking agility off by doing this, but we can give Scott the Black Garb and he'll be okay. Actually, the Black Garb wouldn't be bad for him now because it would give him... I mean, he wouldn't have elemental protection, but he would have protection from Thunderbolt, which is really the main problem here. Blaze is really only a problem on the earlier floors. So, he's got 53 agility, it'd be up to 63 now. I might give him the Black Garb just so that way he has it, honestly. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, maybe if I got another Twist Headband or two, I could probably justify going. And honestly, with the 83% that you've got there, that's probably good enough. Alright, so let's give Scott the Black Garb and we'll see how it works out for him. He's got nice defense now with the Defender and Wild Rose, so that's pretty good. Leader Pokemon's level 43 currently, but can take Groudon out fairly quickly. Sucks to be honest, a ton of Legends in the second game have 99% or 1% recruitments, yeah. Definitely not very easy to recruit them to your team. Probably well worth it because they're probably pretty powerful. I don't know, I've never really done a ton of recruiting in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. I know the first time through, I think I mainly just used the Magnemite and Absol that the game gives you for free as my main, like, other party members for most of the first... That was the first one, so that's Red and Blue Rescue Team. I don't remember what I used in the second one in Explorers of Sky. I think I might have just stuck with the regular 2, honestly. Explorers of Sky. Give me that thing you're holding, your dark soul. Okay, well, it's like a red soul, but dark this time. And it dies very easily, so I don't know why it's just in here by itself, but whatever. It drops, I think... I don't remember what gives you a Sleep Tome, honestly. Probably nothing particularly good, but I guess that's one more enemy for the collection. Which of these doors goes to the ribbon? The far one. We'll get the ribbon first because it's a nice quick walk. It's just a linear little hallway. And then we can go grab the other one, the ultimate armor piece that's in this place. Oh, I don't know. You guys might have a hard time getting through our defenses now. Never mind. That won't really do much to anybody with Scott either, but, you know. Oh, it didn't even do that much to him. Okay, well, fair enough. Still see if you should be able to throw the ether this time because Scott probably won't kill these guys with his regular attacks. So did pretty good damage, all things considered, though, especially since he's cursed. Selby had 99%, thinking you had to do that damn dungeon 3 times, but that wasn't Selby. Who was it? Oh, wow, 99%, and you had to do it 3. That's not good luck at all. Wow. Okay, Joseph got some magic defense. That's nice, some gold armor. Sticking with the hero and partner Pokemon in Sky makes sense since you couldn't take others on story quests. Yeah, that's a good point, too. Yeah, that may have been why I stuck with them. See, it's been so long, I don't even remember that. Jirachi. Getting Darkrai didn't happen when you were a kid, yeah. I don't even remember the story with Darkrai because I don't think I played the post-game in Sky, honestly. I think I just played to the ending and that was it. So, it's been too long. I barely remember. Alright, 3 mini Satanas should be able to handle that pretty easily. I don't even need to raise Ultima anymore, to be honest. It's at a good level where it is now, but, like, I'll cast it. What the hell, right? You only live once, so actually you only die once. The Satana knows that pretty well. Sorry, I'm stretching my neck real quick. Stretched it before, but I just want to stretch it again. How's our stuff? We should be good. We will save here once again. There we go. And, do I need to heal? I guess I could top off a little bit before I do that. There, that's good enough. Alright, and let's open it up. To get the ribbon. So this is the one and only guaranteed one that you can get. Monster in a box, of course, but, you know. Against a steel giant. Ow! Okay, these guys are, like, tearing right through me today. Good lord, man. I think you toss a high potion his way. I know we're giving him a blink, but, like, damn. That hurt. I think I'll be okay. Let me just pick up my entrails off the ground. Good lord. Okay, give him a blink so he doesn't die this turn. Alright, blind 16. We should be okay to that. Yeah, we can heal that off. That's fine. You're not even at the point where that's going to be a problem yet anyway, because you're not ready to attack. Do I have you use the eye drops? Yeah, I'm going to have you use the eye drops, actually, because then we can all start attacking after you get Protect up on yourself. Just in case anything sneaks through. I mean, it won't really help him. He's only got 374 HP, but, you know. Oh, it was Jirachi? Could be Selby. You know, some Mons were in the 99 floor dungeons for hell back then, and still are. Yeah, 99 floors is a lot. Like, I don't think I could do it, honestly. Like, that's a lot of work. I don't know if this guy casts Flare or anything. He might, so I guess I can give myself a quick shell just in case. So we'll see. That looked like 3,000 something damage right there. This is what I get for using Berserk, though. Like, you end up getting a really solid chunk of damage out of it, so. Alright, so Dispel. I have figured this out based on what Dispel 16 does. I watched this happen, because I did a little bit of testing before I started the Soul of Rebirth playthrough. So Dispel 16 is actually anti-barrier. It gets rid of defenses that you have. So if you have resistances against certain elements, they will no longer be resistances. You'll take normal damage from them. So for example, if you have resistance to fire, and your enemy uses Dispel 16 on you to dispel that fire resistance, and then uses Blaze 16, the Blaze 16 will deal normal damage to you. So if you had resistance, it's gone. So Dispel is actually an anti-barrier move. So, or an anti-whatever resistances your armor gives you, because it actually affects the resistances that your armor gives you as well, and that's not normal. Most Final Fantasies don't do that, but in this case it does. So, I got another Aegis Shield. Okay, I'll take it, because now Minwu has full protection, and there's another Aegis Shield waiting in the wings at a later point in the dungeon. So I'll take that for sure. So you would get the other Aegis Shield, and then you'd have full status protection with that. So then the only person really with matter and death protection, you're in pretty great shape. You'd probably want the twist headband, so let's give Joseph the ribbon real quick. And then you get the twist headband, because now you've got mind, matter, and death protection, and that really sets Scott up probably to be pretty good. Like, most of the enemies in here will do either mind, matter, or death spells. They'll do elemental spells as well, but, like, we can probably handle that, you know? I've still got Barrier, so I can just cast that on him and he'll be okay. So, I don't know, maybe we'll make only one more run of this if we keep this up. Won't even need the damn ribbons if I keep this up. I'd like 2 more twist headbands. Those would be nice, because the gold hairpins are kind of redundant with the black robe, but, I mean, the agility's not, but, you know. Post-game was not fun. Cresselia might as well have been made of paper mache. Zero Isle North, your eternal rival. Some of those escort ones were rough, especially if the mon is super underlevel for the dungeon. Oh, I hated the escort missions. I remember doing a couple of those for the request board, I think, and they were not much fun. Vaguely remember trying to recruit Lugia and RRT. It was so much effort for you. No, that was hell. And you were a Pikachu. You ran out of PowerPoints. Oh my god. Yeah, running out of PowerPoints would not be a whole lot of fun, that's for sure. Okay, that's fine. I guess I can top everybody off. I was going to heal you, but I guess I should have scrolled up a little more. See, this is why I don't heal outside of battle, though, because, like, it barely heals for any more than a high potion does. So, and now I got Ether again. It's like, okay, well... but yeah, so we're in good shape now. The only thing we got left is that one last chest on the other side of the hall here, on the other side of the wall. And then the way forward is actually to the right of that chest, but we won't do that this time. We'll go back and resupply first, and then maybe we'll make our final preparations and our final assault. I think, honestly, I'm going to toss a few ethers. Why don't you toss one for Ricard, and then Ricard, just kill one of these things so that way we can reduce their damage output a little bit. I mean, we don't really have to. Boulders isn't really doing a ton at this point, but, you know. So technically, though, with the Aegis shields that we've got 3 ribbons on the party. It's really just Scott that wouldn't have the ribbon. And, I mean, I'm okay with that, honestly. Like, I don't think that's going to be a huge problem, because he's dual-wielding, so, like, it's expected that he would have less defense, you know? So. I still, and I know I'm saying this over and over again, but I still can't believe that I actually managed to get dual wielding working properly in this game. Like, That's not something that I planned on having happen. I just sort of said, you know, let's give it a shot. We should have good evasion with that going on, and it shouldn't affect our agility too much. And lo and behold, here we are. 2 swords again. Lunith is looking at us from the logo of Final Fantasy III, and he's like, what the hell? I mean, it works in Final Fantasy III as well, but, like, I don't know. You guys have a lot of HP, so let's, like... You're not going to die from that, so I was going to say, let's double up on at least one of you. You'll die from this, but maybe I should have just blanket cast the Ultima. Partner was a Torchic. Lugia and Kyogre's dungeons were harder than they were. Yeah, I can imagine with that kind of a loadout. Yeah, for sure. Oh, boy. Alright, so this will do a little more to Scott, like 100-something, right? Yeah. So we'll have to watch out for that. But, I don't know. I feel like I'd be okay with what we've got. Yeah, Zero Isle North, think is one dungeon you never completed when you still had Sky. These Kyogre's in RRT and BRT is only 40 floors compared to Lugia's 99, yeah. That's a little more manageable. Only 40 floors, I can take that, but not 99. 99 is, oof. That's a lot. Like, I get Pit of 100 Trials feelings in my stomach when I think about 99 floor dungeons, and that one's 100, but, you know, it's like... There's probably save points and stuff, but pass. Definitely pass. Alright, and let's see. He took a bump there, Scott, but that's okay. We'll just give you a high potion or two. There you go. But yeah, we'll definitely be out of supplies or very close to it by the time we get back after doing these couple, so... I think it would be a good idea to go back and resupply. We'll get back to the same amount. We'll probably get to 50 high potions, 30 ethers, because the next time we come through here, we don't have to go wandering through all the hallways here. We can just kind of go straight to the Bracer's door, and then we can just go past the chest that we're about to go get, and then we'll go from there. I guess I spoiled what's in this chest 2 seconds before we got to it just now, but that's okay, because we're about to see it anyway, so it won't be a huge spoiler. Ah, Lunith's such a character. Honestly, Refia was your favorite of Three's cast, and you remember nothing of the party members. What did I make them the last time I played? I think, if I remember right, because the last time I played was the time when I beat it with a ranger and a bard in the party. I think Angus was the not the white mage, but the upgrade to the white mage, the devout, or the devote. I forget how you pronounce that. I think Refia was my Viking, and Eric was my ranger, and Lunith was my bard, or was Refia the bard and Lunith the... No, I'm pretty sure Lunith was the bard, because I think I had him as the scholar, which is totally out of character for him, judging by the little bit of character development he gets, but, you know, fair enough. Anyway, let's open this up to grab Joseph's ultimate arm pieces, the Bracers. But, of course, we have one more monster to defeat in order to use it. Really? You're not even going to give me any rest in the afterlife? You're going to come after me all the way up here? Really? Alright, man, it's your funeral again. If you want to make it this way, then that's just how it's going to have to be. Am I casting Blink on Scott? I don't remember. Hold on, let's do it. Okay, we'll do it again, just to make sure. So you get that, and you cast Protect on yourself. There we go. Get Ultima to 13 for the shits and giggles. Yeah, that would be... it'd be a bit of a grind, but it would do probably quadruple 9s in damage on a single target in that case, because with our spirit the way that it is, I think it's, like I said, I think it's getting about 990 damage per level of the spell that hits. So that would be overkill. The final boss has 25,000 HP, so yeah. That'd be a lot. Oh, Flare 16. Goodbye, Minwoo. I didn't even get a chance to finish blinking. Alright, that's fine. We'll just revivify you in a second. Joseph, just keep attacking, and we'll just get Minwoo up with the Phoenix down. This is why you want Shell, by the way, because then if you get Flare 16, it doesn't matter so much, but if you don't have it, this happens, so... Yeah, had a Viking, yep. Never nuke him! We are nuking him with physical attacks, as it turns out, but I think I'm ready to cast Ultima, so let's cast Ultima. No, just attack. There we go. Never mind, we won't get a chance to cast Ultima. There he goes. Got some magic defense, HP stamina, magic defense, HP spirit. Okay, not bad at all. So, the bracers. They're Joseph's ultimate arm piece. I did not know this until a couple of playthroughs ago. You actually can equip the bracers on Joseph no matter what he's using in his hands. He can use regular old weapons, excuse me, and still equip the bracers. I think if I remember right, the official Nintendo Power Strategy Guide misled me in this back in the day, because they said Joseph had to be barehanded in order to use the bracers, if I recall correctly. Not true. He can use whatever weapons he wants, and he can still equip these. And you can't really see it underneath the cursor there, but his attack power is going up by 33 from equipping these, along with the defense boost. Granted, he loses the protection against death, but he has that with the ribbon. And well, it gives him plus 99 strength and stamina, so his HP problems will be a thing of the past after a few level ups, because he's at 701 right now, so he'll get to 800, 899, 998, and he'll just keep going up from there. So Minwoo is really the only one that's going to have low HP after this, but that's okay, because we will manage. So check Bulbapedia for Lugia's dungeon and Red and Blue Rescue Team, and there are no rest stops, just floor after floor of fighting in progress. Yeah, that would be exhausting. Remembering they didn't have many, if any, rest points in Red and Blue. Hence why 99 floor dungeons were hell, yeah. Because that would take, like, a couple of hours of just sitting there. Floor after floor after floor. And I don't think I could do it, honestly. So, anybody else? Yeah, you could pick one. Okay. 17 left, and we have all of the gear now, so we have all the equipment on these first few floors. Like I said, there's an Aegis Shield further up. That's the only other piece of equipment that I would say is worth it out of the rest of the treasures. What else have we got? Genji Helm and Genji Armor are the only other two treasures besides the Aegis Shield. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that because I was away from the mic. The other treasures that are past this point, there's a Genji Helmet on the next floor, and then Genji Armor and the Aegis Shield are on the 8th floor, and then there's no treasure on the 9th and 10th floor, so those are the last couple of things you could grab. So, with that being said, let's go back, heal up, resupply at Mackinac, and then honestly, I might just make a beeline for the end of the dungeon. Like, we'll get enough supplies, I think, to just make it there, and then we can just go straight in, you know? I don't know if we even need the ribbon drops at this point. I feel like we're in great shape as we are. Bring an entire page of Oranberries and another of Max Elixirs. The rest is everything else you need. Yeah, there you go. Multiple play sessions with quick saving. Yeah, quick saving, that's true, because I forgot you could quick save. That helps, because then you can take some breaks. Yep. That's a good point. I didn't think about quick saving. So, but yeah, definitely taking a few breaks will help in those situations. 2 confused tomes and a black robe. All right, then. I mean, thank you. I don't need those anymore, but thank you for your generosity. What would I even do with confused tomes at this point? I have Ultima. Like, you think I'm going to cast the... When I have Ultima, you think I'm going to cast a Mind Elemental spell that inflicts a temporary status ailment? I don't think so, guys. But whatever. You throw an Ether. We've got enough to make the difference here. I don't actually know if all of you can kill these guys in one hit, but we'll see. Yeah, you two can, for sure. Probably Joseph can now with the bracers as well, because he's got the extra strength. And that does factor into his physical damage a little bit, so... You know, a little bit. Okay, 1500 HP, so that's fine. I don't even need to cast Ultima anymore, though. Like, we've got it to the point where it's so powerful with the Stardust Rod that if we get it too much higher, it's just gonna... It'll explode the final boss, which is what it should do, but it'll explode him really, really hard. So, a couple more high potions. Give you 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. Now we're okay. Yeah, I just prefer using high potions outside of battle because they basically give you the same amount as a cure at this current level, so I don't know, it just, to me, it's like, why waste the MP on a cure when I'm only going to get 25 back from an ether outside of battle as well, you know? See, these ambushes will probably happen a little more because I took the Thief's Gloves off as well. Have to keep that one in mind. Confuse! Why does poison suck in this game? The game is trying to get me to use Confuse. It wants me to put the chocobos up. That's the thing. Honestly, I could probably give it to Scott in place of Protect and just have him use it in some of these battles for the memes. I could definitely see that happen. Maybe I will do that, because I should probably just get rid of Protect on him and Berserk on Joseph now that I'm not using them, you know? So, Maybe I'll just give them to him for the hell of it. Just throw the chocobos at them. I couldn't use Quinfucius only but once in the main game, so now we'll use him in the afterlife. Why does poison suck in this game? Yeah, it's not very good. Doesn't do enough damage to really make a huge difference. I don't know why they decided that would be a thing, but there you go. That's how it is. So what don't I need here anymore? I don't need Protect on you because I've been casting it on Ricard and it's doing just fine, so let's get rid of that. We can put Shell here. I guess I can leave Basuna. I still want Barrier because then I can give Scott Barrier in one of the boss fights. It means Minwu's going to be buffing for 4 turns rather than 3, but, you know, that shouldn't be a big deal, so... I'll put that there. And then we'll stick Confuse right here so he can just use it for the hell of it. We'll stick your Berserk down here. You don't need your Berserk, so we can get rid of that. And there we go. And where them Confused tomes at? There we go. There you go, Scott. Have a new spell. Oh, this is going to be stupid. But I'll take it. I mean, at this point, I can afford to meme around a little bit because, like, what do I care? We've got all this good gear, so we shouldn't have too many problems from here on out. So, Death 8. Oh no! Actually, it might still kill somebody, even with the resistance. Our magic defense is a little low on a couple of people. So, I think Ricard has more levels of magic defense than anybody in the main cast ended up with, though. So that's kind of funny. No, actually, I think a couple of them got to like 7 or 8, so... I didn't use Confuse here, although it doesn't matter. These Orocots are resistant to all elemental attacks, so... I should use Confuse once per battle just for the hell of it, but I forgot to use it here. Oh, well. It's never going to get higher than level 1 if I have that attitude, though. Well, I guess I can use it now, can't I? Because this Orocot's still alive, so... Just let everybody defend. We'll let Scott cast Confuse, throw the chocobos at him, and then let Joseph finish the job. I just love the silly little chocobos just flying over their head like that. I don't know why. It's the same as every other Confuse animation in every other game, but for some reason this one just gives me, like... It makes me laugh a little bit. I do like the design of the chocobos and the remakes of Final Fantasy II, though. They kind of make them, like, stockier than most of the chocobos. Like, most of the chocobos in the remakes either look more chibi, or they're not, like... I don't know, they've got, like, longer legs. In this one, they've got, like, a longer neck. So it almost looks like an ostrich mixed with, like... I don't know, what has yellow... It's like an ostrich and a canary mixed up, I guess, because the yellow feathers. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but it looks more ostrich-like, which was always kind of the impression I got out of chocobos, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. Alright, let's cast Confuse on the Lamia Matriarch. How do you like it? Oh wait, now she's confusing me. Shit. Good thing I have a twist headband. How do you like it when someone charms you? Not very fun, is it? But yeah, see, that's how much Cure does in battle, so that definitely means that the Spirit stat is not taken into account when you cast it outside of battle. So that's my pro tip for you. Don't cast Cure outside of battle unless it's an emergency, because you won't get very much out of it. There's a ribbon. I'll take it right at the end. Scott, here you go. Take the ribbon. Yeah, and honestly, that's probably fine. So now you can have Thief's Gloves because you don't need the Protect Ring anymore, so you can get extra agility. You actually can have Thief's Gloves back as well because you've got full status protection from Aegis Shield and Black Robe, so that'll add to our agility. And once I get you an Aegis Shield, I won't need another ribbon because we'll have full status protection for everybody. So there you go. We are done with monster drops. We don't need any more item drops from anybody. So, I mean, you can drop Gil for me, big guy, if you really want to. That wouldn't be bad. And actually, that means I can get rid of Barrier now, too. So that's cool. Are you... Oh, you don't even fucking need that ribbon now. Yeah, exactly. Now I can just stick the ribbon on Scott, stick the ribbon on Joseph. Ricard and Minwu are both using shields, so we'll get an Aegis Shield on the 8th floor. Now, that means Ricard won't have full status protection for a little while, but he doesn't really need it. He's got high magic defense, and it's at 99% right now, so most things probably won't hit him very well. Boy, this feels familiar. This is what happened when I came in here the first time. Usually run right into these guys, and they've got so much defense that our weapons aren't even doing shit. Ow. It's a good thing Ultima will deal damage. I think. It should. It ignores defense. Yeah. And that was a crit, actually. Ultima is fun and funny because sometimes it crits and then that happens. So that's just great. Yeah, that should be good. I might use a cure. I use a cure all right now. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Now, let's just keep on going. And it's funny, though, because, like, even though we're pretty much armed to the teeth at this point, like, we're still getting our asses handed to us in a couple of these battles, depending on how it goes. Like, if we get ambushed, then the enemies still get a chance to get a free hit off on us before we can get our blinks up or any of that stuff. These things still hurt, so... And some of them live through multiple hits. You were worried about your drop rates earlier in the playthrough. Yeah, I guess I had nothing to worry about now, did I? I mean, honestly, we would have made it fine. Like, once we got the gold hairpins last time, it's like, okay, we can probably make it with this, you know, because that doesn't give us the status protection, which is problematic because you can get cursed or instant death or anything like that. But we had a couple of protect rings. We had a couple of people with good magic defense. We were getting one ribbon anyway. So you can make it. I guess I embellished a little bit last time when I was like, no, if we don't get these, we will not survive Soul of Rebirth. No, that's a little bit of an overstatement. So that's my bad. Don't go hunting for them too hard, because they are a rare drop. Just you know, get a second Aegis Shield instead. What's the Steel Giant's drop rate on that, actually? I want to know that now. Let's go look at his bestiary entry so we can see how likely that was. Let's see. Should be somewhere around here. I think he's up here. Yeah, there he is. That was his rarest drop. Okay, well, there we go. We got a rare drop anyway. What are you supposed to be? That's a boss there. Oh, I know what that is. That's the final boss of the campaign. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. That's something I haven't seen yet, but it's in the bosses, so it's got to be a boss. Yeah, it's the final boss of the campaign. Where am I going? Hold on. Am I going the right way? Yeah, this is the first floor, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we're going the right way. We came down those stairs. Sorry, I got momentarily lost. Oh, 4 Parobolo, so you guys don't even stand a chance at this point. These guys have some of the like, with the Lil Murderers, they have the lowest defense of any enemy in the Unknown Palace, and they only have like 800 HP, so... They won't last very long. But we're almost there. I wonder if I should save just for safety. I probably will after this fight. I don't really think we need it, but I'll do it just for safety, you know? We've got enough supplies to make it to the portal, but you never know when some freak accident could happen. I guess those guys have the same drops as captains as well. So that's cool. Alright. Let's finish out this excursion, and then, yeah, I think, honestly, looks like this is going to be the outro episode, because I think, yeah, it's only 10 to 8 at the moment. It's a little later because my clock is 2 minutes slow over there. We'll make it to the end, and we will figure out the central mystery here before the end of the stream. It'll probably be a full-length stream, but that being said, we will figure out the central mystery, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be it. We actually got this done faster than reverse rebirth mode. It's kind of crazy. I guess we had good luck on our drops. I mean, I shouldn't guess in that case. We definitely had good luck on our drops. So, up there goes Ricard's HP, and I have a distinct feeling, yeah, he only needs one more and he'll be over 2,000 HP, so that's a thing. Although, depending on how many battles we get into on our second excursion, Joseph might not get to 1,000 himself, which will mean I'll have to cast Shell twice. So Minwoo's going to have to cast 5 buffs because we're going to need Barrier, Blinks, and so a barrier for... Well, actually, no, because we got that other ribbon, so I don't need barrier anymore. I forgot I can take that off now. So I can just cast 2 shells instead. Or I could just let Joseph get hit by the Flare 16, to be fair. That's probably fine. It's probably not going to make a huge difference. So, alright, so there we go. Minwoo only has 6 spells left, but they're all he's going to need. And then that, I should keep casting Confuse just for the hell of it. I'm not casting it anymore. I said I was gonna, and then I stopped. I'll do it some more. You got a flare book. You won't even need it. Nope. Don't even need flare. It's just kind of going to sit there for me, honestly. So, actually, yeah, you two double up on that one, because this won't die from one, right? Yeah, they probably have like 2,000 HP, so... Funny thing is, with Scott's intelligence where it is, that confuse, when it gets to a high enough level, will probably actually work. Like, if the enemy's not resistant to mind, it'll actually probably confuse them, which is not normal. Like, more often than not, those temporary status ailments just end up being fodder that you don't really end up using very much of, so... But it gives him something else to do, I guess. Min was getting agility, that's good. We want to keep that going up. That stat is still very important, even though we've got all that status protection gear, so... Oh, take a breath of that not really fresh air, because we're in the afterlife, so the air is probably not real. But take a breath of that fresh air, we made it out. Alright, let's resupply. I have like a billion things to sell. Excuse me, because pretty much all we need are the clothes on our backs, the weapons in our hands, and because we moved the black garb over, yes, we can sell all the other spare black robes we have. And the supplies for healing status ailments, and that's about it. Although at this point, I don't even know if we're going to get status unless they use like a level 16 spell on a single person, like blind 16. Probably going to be a little tough to get through otherwise, so... let's see. I guess we'll restock with you. Let's start by buying the ones that we need. So high potions, we want to get those up. We'll get back to 50, because that should be... Yeah, I'll go to 60, why not, just for the hell of it. Just so we have plenty of them, and I don't have to worry about us not making it, or only making it close. I mean, if it was close, that would be kind of interesting, I think, but, you know. Let's just make it so it's not even close. Make it so that it's as ridiculous as... I've been playing Final Fantasy VI off the stream recently, and actually, I will fully disclose this. I'm playing the Pixel Remaster version of Final Fantasy VI, and I'm actually... Now, granted, you know how much modding I did in Fallout 4 for that stream through? I did that much modding for Final Fantasy VI's Pixel Remaster as well, in order to like, patch over a bunch of the stuff that they just half-assed in that port. But I'm actually enjoying myself with it. So... I guess there's exceptions to every rule, and I mean, I shouldn't say it like it's a rule. Like, yeah, all the Pixel remasters suck, because really the only one I can say for certain I don't like is the one that's for this game, because it peels out content and forces you to deal with the intelligent spirit penalty again, which no one likes. I'm going to go to 40 on these as well. And we can buy some elixirs, we'll do that too. Actually, I probably didn't need 60-40 then, because I'm going to get elixirs, but we'll worry about that once we're done selling stuff. But yeah, so I'm actually enjoying myself in the Pixel Remaster of 6. To be fair, though, the reason why I considered buying it was because of the fact that it actually fixes several things that were still a problem in the GBA version of 6. In the Pixel Remaster of 6, Cyan is actually usable as a character now. Before, he was pretty much just worse than every other character in the game. They actually fixed his Bushido skill, so it's not terrible now. So that's funny. We have 2 spare Yoichi's bows, oh my god. But there's a few fixes. The opera in the game is actually fully voice-acted now in multiple languages, which is kind of cool. What else have we got? There's a few other things I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh, yeah, no, there's... you can do encounter manipulation and manipulation for the belt, in order to make things a little bit easier to get the encounters that you want there. We can talk about how all that goes when I actually play it for the stream, but yeah, so there's a bunch of little tricks that you can do in that one that you couldn't do in other versions of the game that I actually enjoy, so I've been playing it. And the point of all this, I'm kind of wrapping around the whole point of why I was saying it. Do I need this twist headband anymore? I don't know, I don't need the strength, I guess, so I guess I'll just get rid of it. Well, we'll get rid of the Genji gloves and the power armlets, but then let me just double check, like, where everybody's at in terms of their equipment, just in case. You need the gold hairpin for the extra agility. You're good. You're good. And you don't need the strength, because you get... Actually, you don't need the agility either, to be fair, so you take the twist headband for now. And that'll give you mind protection as well, so that might help a little bit, actually. And then we can sell the other gold hairpin. But yeah, I've actually been enjoying it, and also, on top of that, I didn't realize just how ridiculous it got in that game because Edgar and Gao, if you train Gao even slightly in Final Fantasy VI's early game, the combination of Edgar and Gao absolutely demolish that game because they AoE everything down so fast, it's ridiculous. Like, there's this one fight in this town of thieves that you go to that I always had trouble with because what happens is he keeps a counter, and every 4 times you attack him physically, he will throw weapons at you twice, and if he hits the same character, he'll one-shot the character, basically. So, like, if he'll throw a knife, and then he'll throw another knife, and if he throws both knives at the same person, they're dead. So I always had a little bit of trouble with them because I had to keep, picking my party up off the floor and all that. No, not with Gao and Edgar. They killed him so fast that he didn't even get a chance to summon the reinforcements that he summons normally. And that happens after 30 seconds pass in the battle. So they killed him faster than 30 seconds in. That's how absurd their combination is in the early to mid game of Final Fantasy VI. We'll definitely get to that when I play it, but I didn't expect it was that powerful, so. Weapons in your hands, clothes in your pack, the items in your pack, and the magic in your mind. Yep, pretty much, that's about it, yep. And the 8 elixirs that I'm going to take along the way. That will work, alright. So we spent a little extra money on ethers and stuff, but we've got 2 full heals that we can just blanket cast across the party now. And I think with that, we're good. I'm ready to head out. Let's go finish this up, shall we? We had a shorter Soul of Rebirth playthrough this time. The drop rates were good. We didn't get exactly what I was expecting to get, but we got some good stuff. I mean, granted, Joseph's still not at 1,000 HP yet, and he needs 3 HP increases to get there, but hey, I'll take it. It's a lot lower than most of the playthroughs that you see online. You search for Soul of Rebirth final boss, and everybody comes up with like 5,000 or more HP. It's kind of silly. You definitely don't need all that. So, alright, let's finish this up. I say that like we're going to be there anytime soon. Oh wait, hang on, Confuse. And then you attack, and then you defend, so you can cast Confuse. Gotta keep casting it, it's never going to get to level 10 if I don't. It's never going to get to level 10 anyway, but you know. And then we can throw an ether at Scott occasionally when we need to. But yeah, if it's a simple battle like that, there's no point in not casting Confuse. Like, I mean, at this point, we're just memeing it up, right? So, like, why not? I ain't even worried about that anymore. With the 2 ribbons, yeah, we'll take 60 damage each from that. So you guys are going to have to do a little better than that. I mean, I'll take the magic defense that you're providing me with, but, like, yeah, no, definitely try a little harder. And with the resistance, if I remember correctly, because sometimes you'll get extra damage out of spells, but with the like, for example, Ultima crits every so often, so like we'll get double damage out of it. It's the same for other attacking spells. Sometimes you just get double damage out of it. But I think if you have resistance, there's a 0% chance of that happening. I think it just completely negates the chance of them getting extra damage out of the hit, on top of giving you a massive reduction in damage. So resistance in this game is no joke. It doesn't give you absolute full protection from the spell, and if their spell level is really high, it'll still punch through that resistance, but yeah, no, it's no joke. It works pretty good. So. And honestly, this is going to sound blasphemous, but I kind of like the fact that it's not like full protection. Because if it was full protection, the enemies wouldn't stand a chance. Like, because a lot of them will just cast these spells anyway, even though you have the protection. They'd probably be better off spending the turn physically attacking you than they would actually casting the spell. So with their AI the way it is, it's like, I mean, you know, that doesn't really help you to cast that from there, but it's I think it's better because they still have a chance of getting through, even though it's not a very good chance. It gives them something that they can fall back on when, I mean, look at their damage versus our damage right now. Those mini Satanas were a big problem when we first came in here last time, and now they're doing a pittance worth of damage. And they can't get any of their statuses through because we've got full protection from their statuses on everybody. So, like, see how quickly things escalate, though, in Soul of Rebirth? Excuse me, you get the right equipment drops, and here you go. This is what it looks like. You just end up being a monster, even though your HP's not necessarily as high as it could be. you just end up being incredibly strong. To the point where you can afford to meme around and throw chocobos at your enemy. Even though they'll never get through. This mini Satana respects the chocobos because he's throwing chocobos right back. Oh, this is so silly. It's one of those things, though, right, is that, like, a lot of people, the way, and I've beaten this horse to death already, but, like, when people play this game, I feel like sometimes they just don't have a lot of fun with it because of the fact that they don't really have a good grasp on how the game's mechanics work. So they can't have these moments where they can just meme around and cast whatever spells they want because they're too busy losing 3,000 HP every time they get hit. So it actually worked! Look at that damage! He didn't stop getting confused either! He hit himself and was still confused! What the hell? Confuse is weird in this game. Okay. Now we need to practice that a little bit because that's... See, I expected it was going to work like every other Final Fantasy because in every other one, they get confused and they hit themselves and they break it. He didn't break it just then. He was still turned in the opposite direction, unless that's just a visual thing. Well, that's interesting. No, what else is interesting? Killing a bot. That's actually not interesting. How dare you waste my time? I'm sitting here having fun and this is what you've got to do to me? Are you kidding me? Anyway. Oh, you know, if you cast that Minwu, you're not gonna... we're not gonna get a chance to meme, so... Let's meme instead. But yeah, out of anybody, if you're gonna cast stuff like Confuse or anything like that, if you choose to use the status effects, you definitely want either Scott or Minwu to be the ones to cast it, because they both have 99% additional accuracy because of the fact that their intelligence is boosted to 99 from their ultimate weapons, so they're definitely the best black magic users. Minwu's the best white magic user, although in Ricard's case we can kind of fall back on it because he's, you know, it's just Protect he's casting. Sorry, I'm on the wrong, I'm on the wrong map. Am I? Where am I going? Oh, okay, now I see where I'm at. Okay. Sorry, I keep losing my place here. So, I feel like Gold Golem's not going to really get hit this time, because these Chaos Riders have so much HP and so much defense. Okay, got him. Not even worried about him anymore, honestly. Because Ultima will take care of that one handily. Ow, my face. And then Ultima will take care of that one as well, after we cast Confuse on it. I was gonna say, you know, as long as Minwu doesn't just, like, jump ahead of the curve here and suddenly get a turn faster than Scott. There was no way that was getting through either, because if the Gold Golems are anything like the Mithril Golems, the Mithril Golems in Pandemonium have 14 levels of magic defense at a 100% rate, which means that that's higher than any boss, that's higher than anything you'll face in the entire game, basically, which means any status spells that you try to use, body, mind, matter, any of that stuff, not getting through. No way. Completely unlikely. Like, there's absolutely no way it's getting through. So, well, Scott, you're gonna have to pull better than that if we want to get through this Chaos Rider. That's only about 1,200 damage. But that's okay. We'll make it. See, that might still get through, but, like, it's a level 16 spell, so of course it will, you know what I mean? Like, that's natural. It's just gonna happen, but... okay, so you cast Confuse. I guess if you get a chance to physically attack, cool. If not, that's fine, too. And then why don't you toss an Ether Minwu's way? We won't need it too badly, because we'll just Elixir up once we get through the area where the bracers were and we get to the next section, but... So what I'll do is I'll probably end up using all my elixirs up, so we'll use it once we get through that section, and then once we get to the very end of the dungeon, I'll use the last 4 to get us all the way up. And there we go, Ricard's over 2,000 HP. Big sad, because that means that anybody below 2,000 like we did in the main campaign. But that's okay. We've still made it through here in just 2 passes of the palace, so I will definitely take that to the bank. That is way better than I expected we'd be doing, so... yeah, I can meme, honestly. I don't feel too bad about meming this one. And actually, this might get through with this guy. Never mind. Little too much magic defense. Those Kate Sith, by the way, in the background there that we just fought, these Dark Magicians have the same drops as the regular Magicians from the regular game, so you can get more Berserk Tomes for free if you want. But the Kate Sith that we fought in the background there, if you get a big group of them, they actually drop nothing. They have no loot, and they drop 0 gil. So... you might get nothing at all from it. Like, if it's just a bunch of Kate Siths, you'll get nothing at all from the fight, which I think is actually kind of funny, because it's like, yeah, you know, that's pretty much what I'd expect out of Kate Sith, honestly. Oh, yeah, and actually, they also have the blaster skill, but it's not... I don't even know if we're going to get hit by it, so I don't know if it's, like, if you get hit by it earlier on, it might be easier to explain it, but basically, they use Blaster 10, and it says Blaster 10, so it looks like it's exactly... Oops, sorry, I just bumped the pop filter. It looks like it's exactly the same as the Blaster 10 that you had to deal with earlier, and it's like, oh crap, party-wide instant death, and then all you do is get stunned from it. So Kate Sith is trolling. That's the point I'm making here. Kate Sith is a trolling enemy. It's not actually a real... Well, it can do a little bit of damage to you, but it's not actually a real threat, so... It's not like, you know, some of the crazy shit, like the Black Dragon or the Dark Behemoth we've been fighting. Like, that sort of stuff is actually still a legitimate threat, but Kate Sith's just there to meme. Many doors, yes! Okay, let's get through the doors and go from there. Another Dark Soul. Alright, so second from the left is what we're looking for here. I think he absorbs this Confuse, so it's probably not going to do a whole lot for us, but that's okay. He's like the Red Soul, if I remember correctly. He absorbs, like, yeah, pretty much all elements. So you're either using physicals or non-elemental magic to get through. And that is fine by me, because we have plenty of both at this point. Ultima is enough for all 4 of us, basically. And they say, oh, what'd you give me? Just a blind tome. Alright, this door. Take the hidden passage to get to where the Bracer's chest was, and then we'll be good. Yeah, do that, because then we can meme this guy, and then you can do that, and you can do that. And we'll see if it works. Nice, we got it. I think out of all the enemies in here, well, obviously the little murderers don't have resistance, but a good chunk of them I think do have mind resistance, so we probably won't get through very easily with Confuse, but hey, when it happens, oh my god. Okay, so he's still turned around. We'll get to see the end of the turn now. Okay, he turned back. So he hit himself, but was still confused. He did not break out of it. And actually, you know, thinking about it, that kind of makes sense, because like in other Final Fantasies where you break out of confusion when you hit yourself, those are like the ones with the ATB system in it, right? So those are the ones where you would want them to break out immediately, because if they didn't break out immediately, they would waste time that they could be hitting you, when in reality they're just still standing around not doing anything, so that makes sense. Alright. We got to experiment a little at the end of this, though, so isn't that cool? I'm still experimenting all the way at the end of this playthrough. That's, I don't know, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy this game, though, is because I can, like, I still don't know everything there is to know about it. It's so, there's so much to learn about it, because it's not well documented, so it's difficult to really know everything. And that's why every time I come back to it, I end up learning more about it, you know, so that's always been nice, a nice part about it. Alright, let's blanket cast Ultima here and see how much damage it deals. I'm gonna cast Confuse, but these guys are definitely resistant to it, so there's no way we're getting through. I could just cast Life 8 on them, honestly, but I just want to see how much this does. 99 Spirit plus a level 8 spell. Holy cow, that wipes them all out. Look at that, we actually blanket cast a spell, and it was not shit. There's a first time for everything. Not this. Wait, yeah, this way. Never mind. Thought I was going to take the narrow staircase, but that just leads to a dead end, so we don't want that. Okay. So we got a preemptive strike, so that's kind of nice. Let's get Confuse up, potentially, on this guy, and then you guys take care of the Parobolos. The mini Satanas aren't even a threat at this point, because they're just... They're not going to be able to cast on a preemptive strike, so, you know, it's fine. Yes, just blanket casting Ultima on a whim and killing everything. Didn't even give them a chance. See how much power escalation there is in Soul of Rebirth, though? That's what I meant. It's like, no, this gets ridiculous after a while. It's just like, you escalate so quickly that all of a sudden, it's just like, well, now I can just kill everything. You don't even need the HP. And granted, our party average is probably going to be like, what's our party average now? I'd have to do some math, honestly, to do it. But our party average now would probably be like, so 7 and 8. Well, it's closer to 9, really. There's a Betrayal Fang if you want to cast Confuse 16. Let me just do the math real quick, see where our party average is currently for HP. 704, 1768, 899, 2039, divide by 4. Party average 1352.5 HP. So that's not terrible. I mean, it's probably pretty close to the party average that we had, honestly, in the actual party, like in the main game. Alright, same way as it was, so we're up above the doors now, so there's a portal in the top, in this case it's in the top left corner, but we'll just head that way right now. Let's see where we end up. Minwu can literally cast Fuck You in a general direction now. Yeah, and that's pretty much what the spell ends up being after a little while. Like, it just is like, okay, well, I cast Fuck You. That's it. Now, does this break you out? No. That's another thing that happens in other Final Fantasies. Attacking the enemy when they're confused breaks them out of the confusion. Not in this game, apparently. See, this is interesting, because I never get to see this happen. Because I never get to use Confuse. It's just only 2 enemies in the entire main game drop it, and by the time they drop it, it's like, okay, well, goodbye. Yeah, it's like, okay, I can't really use this because it's the end of the game and most enemies are resistant to Mind, so... Like, there's only 2 enemies that actually have a weakness to Mind in the entire game, and it's both of the Brain enemies, Changer and Brain. I don't remember if there are Brains... There's actually a Brain enemy in the final dungeon here. We haven't run into it. It might be only on the upper floors, though, so that might be why we haven't run into it. But, yeah, I guess we'll find out if it works on anything else. Actually, you do it on the Confused guy. There we go. Yeah, I never get to experiment with Confuse, so this is actually pretty interesting to me because... I don't know, it's done so... Okay, that was a crit. Jesus, Minwu. That Kate Sith didn't need that. That's... You're taking out the Dark Behemoth aggression there, aren't you, my friend? Alright, then. But yes, I never get to experiment with it, so it's cool to actually get to experiment with it. At a point as well, excuse me, where it doesn't matter because I can just say, yeah, well, I have 99 intelligence, so this is the absolute best that it can do, you know? So, that's interesting to me. Okay, Genji Helm right up here. Gotta walk all the way around, but we are very close to that second Aegis shield. And once we grab that, we are fully kitted out, fully protected. Here's the 5 Kate Sith battle I was talking about. Time to cast Fuck You in a general direction. Wow, and he even went first. He's like, nope, not having any of this. It's because he's got, I think, the lightest gear on out of everybody, so he can just kind of boom. And yeah, see? No drops, nothing. No gil, no items, no stats, nothing. I mean, you can get stats from that fight, but we got nothing. So this is literally just a we're here to waste your resources battle. That's what this is. And I don't know, I just find that funny at this point because it's like, okay, well, we could throw actual challenges at you, but why not troll you instead? Like, I don't know, I just find that funny personally. You know, what if he cast Blaster on himself and killed himself? Oh wait, yeah, it only stuns. Never mind, he wouldn't kill himself, he'd just stun himself. Well, it would have been funny nonetheless, but, you know. Wonder what level Confused is going to be by the time we're done with this. Okay, I'm making it a new goal if we keep running into these Lamia Matriarchs. I want to try to get Confused to land on them. I don't think we're ever going to have enough damage to get it through, but, you know, I'd be willing to give it a shot. Multiple times. Okay, it went through. How do you like it? Wow. Hang on, I got this. Yeah, there you go. Scott, cast Confused now. Oh, and she put herself to sleep. Now that's funny. Oh, man. See, they don't have really strong physical attacks, but their physical attacks can inflict sleep on hits, so I guess she's not immune to her own statuses either. See, this is what I mean, though, is like the power escalation is so high that you can kind of just troll around at the end and still be perfectly fine. So, like, that's one of those things I'm just like, nope, I'll take it, you know. That's just wrong. That was a war crime, Scott. What the hell? Can't be a war crime if we're dead. There's no Geneva Convention on this side of the afterlife, Minwoo. Oh, good. Ricard has become Toad. Well, I told you some of those statuses would still get through, but Toad does not instantly kill for us, so it just turns him into a tiny little speck on the screen. That's actually kind of funny. What? So he's the last person in the party, so are we going to get to see what the Toad looks like when it does a physical attack? Like, what does it look like when it's readying its stance? Like, I kind of want to see this. Hold on. Oh, it actually has an animation for a ready stance. Did you see it? It, like, puffed up. I never get to see that because I never get toaded, so... Guys, please pick him up. He can't run that fast. What the hell is happening right now? Oh, and I forgot about this. Yeah. So... I was going to talk about this on the stream when we were doing the main campaign. I didn't get a chance to do it. You'll notice that the Toad sprite for Ricard has a little Dragoon helmet on it. So all of the characters in this game have unique Toad portraits as well as unique regular portraits. You normally don't get to see these unless you're Toaded. But if you get your Toad spell to level 16 and you go back to the Snowcraft minigame, you can actually play a Toad version of the concentration game where you flip the panels over to try to get matching pictures, and all of the pictures will be the Toad version of the character instead of the regular version. So there you go. Set a goal and immediately completes it. That's just great. Typical MCR endgame stream. I mean, at this point, yeah, we're just here for the memes. Like, we all know what's going to happen at the end of this. Like, we've destroyed this game inside and out at this point, so we're all just here for the memes at this point. Even I'm here for the memes, and it's been going pretty well so far. So it looks like Joseph will get over 1,000 HP unless we get real lucky with our, like, encounters here. But something tells me I don't think that's going to happen. The Aegis Shield is straight across to the other side here on the left, so I'm just going to go straight for that real quick. Let's see, get Confused on you, and you should go down pretty easy. Confucius, guide my hand! We gotta get Confucius in wherever we can. He wasn't able to be in the Final Fantasy 1 streams, so... we gotta make him viable somewhere. Like, I know there's gonna be a few Final Fantasies where... like, 5, there's no Confucius because it's Boko. 6, the Chocobos are practically non-existent. So, I know they're not going to be in that one. 7, we can make a Confucius. There's Chocobo training and raising in 7, so that'll be a little easier to do. 4, the Chocobos are basically non-existent. 3, I think they get some use in 3. Mostly it's airships in 3, though, rather than Chocobos. Can I go through here? No, okay. That's fine. Because, I mean, there's a staircase right there to take me to the same place. 9 is going to be where the Chocobos are most disappointing, I think, and it's because of the fact that they have a very large, like, side quest across the whole game, but I just don't like the side quest for them in 9. It's Choco Hot and Cold is the name of the minigame, but I don't know, I've never been a big fan of it. I tried it, and I was like, oh, cool. What happened is I found the first Chocobo Forest, and I was like, oh, cool, this seems like a really nice little minigame that we can just do over the course of the game. We'll find multiple Chocobo Forests across the whole map. There's little treasure maps you can dig up so you can find little item caches all over the place. It'll be interesting, right? No, it was not. because there's only one chocobo forest on the entire map, so you have to keep coming back there. And you don't get access to an airship until pretty late in the game. And you're almost never on that part of the map. And then also I found out later on that the maps that you find when you dig up stuff in the Choco Hot and Cold game, first of all, it's not dependent on how well you do in the minigame. It's completely by chance. So you'll just occasionally randomly dig that up, but most of the time you'll dig up junk. I just got lucky on my first one and actually got a map on the first pull, which is not normal, as far as I'm aware. But you have to keep coming back to that one chocobo forest, and it's just a major pain in the nuts. It's tied to the super boss fight as well. You have to complete Choco Hot and Cold in order to get to the super boss fight, as far as I'm aware, which means we won't be fighting the super boss in 9. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I'm just going to go over here, because there's a staircase next to the portal over here that I can use to just get to the Genji armor, because it's just the Genji armor. I don't even care. Like, I'm not going to equip it, so... Love that MP costs are the same as the spell's level. Even level 10 spells feel cheap. Honestly, it's kind of nice, though, because it's like... I said it before, but it feels logical to the progression that the spell gets more powerful and becomes more expensive. It lets your MP level up more. Ow. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the way that MP is handled in Final Fantasy II. It's just kind of nice, the way that it all works. It's like a system that feeds into itself, kind of, you know what I mean? That's true, the Black Chocobo in 5, yeah, does get some use as well. So I guess we could name the Black... Well, we'd have to name the Black Chocobo St. Quethrin, wouldn't we? Because St. Quethrin was the Black Chocobo from Final Fantasy XIV, so we'd have to name it after her. And that's fine, you know. That way she gets some representation as well, so it's not just Quinfucius all the time. So. I know in 15, you actually get to name the Chocobos in your group as well, so obviously Quinfucius will be there. We found Quinfucius in 13 already, so that's good. 12 Chocobos are really only at the stables. I mean, I think you can find a couple of wild ones, but I don't think you can actually ride the wild ones. And 10, I don't even remember what the Chocobos do in 10. I think they might only be in the Calm Lands and a couple of other places, and that's it. But whatever. So there's a few here and there, but we gotta make them last while we can, because some of the games in the series will only see them for like 1 or 2 streams, so... FF7 syndrome. You're expected to check that damn Mountain Defense game after every damn story event. I don't even know if we're going to be doing the Mountain Defense game, honestly, if I remember correctly. And I also know a way to get a gold chocobo in 7 without doing any racing, if I remember correctly. So I have to look back at... There's a tutorial video for it on YouTube, but I have to look back at it. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to get a gold chocobo without doing any racing. It relies on RNG a little bit, and basically you can manipulate the RNG in 7 because it's pseudo RNG. But yeah, so we should be able to get that without doing any racing. Normally, if you do it the normal way when you try to get the gold chocobo, which gold chocobos in 7 allow you to cross any terrain on the map, including the sea, mountains. I think the only thing they don't do is fly, basically, which is exclusive to the airship, obviously. But yeah, so I think normally you have to do about 6 to 8 hours worth of racing in order to get a gold chocobo, but there's a way to do it where you manipulate the RNG and you don't have to do any racing. So, I don't know, that's kind of nice, I guess. I don't think the mini Satanas can get confused, so I'm going to try to just get this Proarbolos confused instead. Make him blow himself up. Cheesing 7 in all its aspects. See, and that's one of the reasons why I want to play the OG version as well, because it's the one that I grew up with, first of all, so usually I like to play that version, unless there's a version that I consider to be superior. And then there's just a bunch of cheese that you can do in the original 7 that I just like watching happen in motion, you know? It's like watching me tear this game apart at the seams, you know what I mean? It's just the same sort of thing. Maybe not quite as entertaining because, I don't know, I find more entertainment out of tearing this game apart and putting it back together in my own way, but I don't know. So anyway, so just like, remember that this is a mirrored version of Pandemonium. So in Pandemonium, in this area, this is the 9th floor, this is the pillar room. In Pandemonium, you went down and to the left, but remember, this is mirrored left to right. Up and down is not mirrored, just left to right. So in this case, don't go down to the left, go down till you hit a wall, and then go to the right, and you'll find the portal. I was gonna say, Ricard Toad again? Maybe someone else will get toaded instead? I'd be down for that. Joseph Toad. Scott Toad. You don't get to see Scott Toad, actually, because he's not in the main campaign, and the only portraits you see are characters that are in the main cast, so Scott Toad would actually be kind of good to see. I've never seen it before, so I'd be cool to see it. You know, we didn't even use those elixirs that I was talking about using, now that I think about it. We'll keep 4 of them, I guess, for on the way out. Wait, why is heavy armor bait? So it affects your evasion so badly that it's not even worth equipping because it's too heavy. The lighter your armor is, the better off your evasion rate is. And evasion and agility are tied together. So, like, if you have good evasion, you have good agility. That means you get more preemptive strikes, you get ambushed less often, and you dodge physical attacks more often. So you don't want heavy armor in this. Oh, look, another confused home. So you don't want heavy armor in this game because it fundamentally messes up your rhythm. You'll get ambushed more often by enemies, and you can't avoid it that way. Then they can get cheap shots in on you. It's why people get killed so badly when they have heavy armor on in this game, because the enemies ambush them. I mean, normally if it was like, okay, well, you know, I've got heavy armor on, but the enemies aren't ambushing me, so I can survive. But if you're getting ambushed all the time, enemies get cheap shots in, you start a fight with a dead character or a character that's severely injured, and you got to deal with that, and it's like, it's a lot more to deal with than I would say is worth it. So, do I just Ultima get this guy? I feel like I just Ultima this guy, honestly. I don't even think I bother with the buffing game. Let's just throw DNA spirals at him. Yeah, evasion is literally king in this one. Yeah, absolutely. It's so good in this game. It's definitely much more worth it than raw defense, that's for certain. Game needs a manual as thick as Yggdra Union would have. Yeah, there's a lot of mechanics in this one. There's a lot to do, but honestly, it's provided me with, at this point, like, how many years of entertainment? Probably almost 20 years worth of entertainment. Now, granted, the first several of those, first 5, were probably mostly frustration, but once I figured it out, it's like, okay, no, now I get it. Now I know what I'm doing, so I can make it work. God? What are you doing here, and why do you look sort of familiar? Well, let's boost up and heal up before we talk to God. Oh, look, Joseph did get over 1,000 HP by the end, just like I said. All right. Well, there's our final stats, our final outlook for everybody. What do we got on everybody? Actually, Minwoo should be able to survive a Flare 16 with this, now that I think about it. So, I did equip the Aegis Shield on you, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. So here's our final stats for Soul of Rebirth. We got the Ultimate Rod for Minwoo. We got him an Aegis Shield Black Robe that gives him full resistance to status and elements. He's got these stats. They don't really matter too much. The agility's nice, but the rest is kind of just whatever he has, because he gets... The stats don't matter as much in Soul of Rebirth because your weapons just give them to you, but there you go. Scott, dual wielding with the Defender and Wild Rose, got a ribbon, so that's his full status protection. He's only got 84% magic defense, but that's okay. Should work out for him pretty well. He's got good agility, so that's good too. Excuse me, what does Confuse get to? 6, that's not bad. That's where his Berserk's at, so... Joseph, made him a bow user, because, again, you can equip the bracers, and you can use any weapon you want with him. You could have him using a sword and a shield, or an axe and a shield if you want at this point, and he'll be fine. So, and there you go. He doesn't really need anything else, to be fair. He's just kind of hanging out there. I think he got the boost for intelligence from the crystals in where the Ultima Tome was, in the Chamber of the Seal, actually, because 30 intelligence for him seems like a lot. But there you go. And then Ricard, Wyvern Lance, got Aegis Shield Black Robe for full status protection. He's still got good magic defense, even though he's got the Twist Headband on. And yeah, his Protect spell's level 7 as well, so we are all ahead full. We're in here inside of 4 hours, so that's pretty nice. I mean, we're gonna have to, run there because it's exactly 4 hours on the dot right now. But we'll probably save this and clear this within the next 20 minutes, so that should be fine. The tutorial in Yggdra is the first 7 maps, and they still only explain maybe a third of what you can learn. Wait, God, what? Yeah, because remember, at this point, we're still not sure why we're here. We don't know the answer to the central mystery of Soul of Rebirth. We don't know who this is sitting in the chair, so let's find out. Wait, the Emperor? Why are you in heaven? How did you get here? Oh, okay. What does that mean? he seems more radiant than usual. I will say that. Why are you being apologetic? Okay. Yeah, so when the Emperor died, he split into two halves, his absolute light and his absolute dark. The Dark Emperor was the final boss of the main campaign. The Light Emperor is this guy. Yeah, and he ousted Satan. He ousted Lucifer from hell, who you took back to heaven and stuck in a box. Again, God, like, what a fate for Lucifer to have to go through. Can you imagine being ousted from hell and then being tossed in a box when you went back, shuffling your way back to heaven, like, well, now what do I do? Holy crap, man. This really is just SMT at this point. Yeah, I was going to say, so where are we exactly? And I've kind of alluded to this a couple of times by accident. I just did it like 10 seconds ago as well, but that's why this place has been a mirror image of hell. This palace is Araboth, the Palace of the Heavens. And the passage that we thought was Jade Passage is actually the Rakia Passage, the realm of the fallen angels. So it's the passage from the earth to heaven rather than from the earth to hell. I don't know where the lake is that takes you to heaven in Final Fantasy II's world, but apparently Minwu ended up there. Oh. Okay. So, these fallen angels, you know, they've been kind of hurting our friends a lot. A lot of them got, I don't know, did they die? Did they get turned into soul powder? I mean, they're already dead, so, like, did their souls just get eaten? A lot of them got hurt by those twisted angels. Are you gonna do anything about that? Because you're the lord of the palace now. Can't you do something about that? Yes, the four of you, all of whom were also met by Fury and Maria and Guy, just like I was. So you prevented us from moving to the other side. Yeah, that's the last remaining question. Why? That's it? You want us to forgive you? Really? Yeah, is that all is a fair question. Now, I need you to understand, you're asking for forgiveness, but you haven't helped the people of Mackinac. Those people are dying. Well, they're already dead, but their souls are getting ripped out of their body by these fallen, twisted angels that you keep sending to Rakia. Can't you, if you want forgiveness, can't you, like, back it up? Why don't you do something to help them? Maybe then you'll be worthy of it. If you just ask for it, it's not like we're gonna give it to you. Well, it's not a human failing if you're not doing anything to create a chance to be forgiven. You're just sitting here. What makes you think you're worthy of our forgiveness? Is it not in itself a sin to sit on this throne with pride and think, oh, I should be forgiven? That's pride and envy. Both of those are sins. You're not above us. Oh, is that all? Well, we can live in this paradise, but if I ever think that you fucked up, I'll send you back to Rakia so that the fallen angels can murder you. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, apparently. I mean, I guess at the very least he's trying to offer apologies, but like, this line is the kicker. You must forgive me. We don't have to do anything. I don't think you understand where you're sitting. You're sitting on the throne of God. Guess who we are? Well, we're not God killers, but we're pretty damn strong, so... You're with Joseph. He's got some nerve to ask for that. Yeah, I mean, like, where do you get off? What makes you think you're worthy of forgiveness? Because I'm not seeing anything. And in order to help us see that, we need to watch the others fight the good fight against the Emperor. Although I don't know who these people are, because that's definitely not my characters or my stats. Maria wasn't my white mage, and Furion did not have the mass image, so... It would have been cool if they showed your actual characters fighting this, like if they somehow simulated that, but I think that's too much for the GBA, and this is based on the GBA version, so like, they wouldn't be able to show that, so they're just showing you like a pre-rendered version of the stock characters fighting the Emperor, the Dark Emperor. Oh, Leon, buddy. If you're going to give him Cure 16, you got to hit for better than that. Minwoo can hit Cure 9s for 450. Where's your spirit, man? Also, I don't think I mentioned this when we got Starfall before. That's the first appearance in the series of Meteor, so there you go. And there's what the Ultima spell looks like at level 10 or above. That's the single target version, not the multi-target. But Furion can't quite hit for it as hard as Minwoo can. So. We'll fight our own fights back here on the ground, but you still have a job to do. Well, Minwoo was right. We still have unfinished business. We just didn't know what it was until right now. Would have been awesome if it showed your party's fight here instead. Yeah, like I said, I think it was too much for the GBA to handle. And since the PSP version is based on the GBA version, it's like they couldn't... I think the PSP might have been strong enough to handle it, but they didn't want to add it in. It's fine, you know, it is what it is. I would have loved that, but it is what it is, so... Here's the thing, though. If I was doing a playthrough on YouTube where I could do, like, post-editing for this, I definitely would have cut that right there and showed our actual fight, which... I mean, that would have been the whole fight, because that cutscene lasted for, like, 45 seconds, and that's approximately how long it took us to kill the Dark Emperor, but... I think it would have been really funny to see that, but, you know, it would have been really cool if it was, so... Listen, man, eternal life is for the living. We're dead, so... Yeah, there you go. That's the line we're looking for, Ricard. Exactly. And that means you can't give it back to us, because we chose our fate. We don't want to go back on it now. That would be dishonorable. And also, if you're the one giving it, I don't think I'd like eternal life from you. But then he says this line. Foolish men, if you will not have eternal life, I will give you eternal suffering. And that sort of takes the rat out of the bag now, doesn't it? Okay, Light Emperor, final boss time. Let's reject this god, shall we? I think actually get a shell up on yourself first would be a better idea. And then you just attack, and you cast Protect. I think he uses magic a little bit more than physicals, so not getting Blink Up turn 1 is probably okay. But I definitely don't want to get hit by... I think he actually uses Holy 16 instead of Flare 16, so... You don't want to get hit by that. So we'll get Shell up on Minwoo so he has a chance of survival. And then we'll go from there. Let's get a Blink Up on you. I'm going to have you actually... Do I want you to blanket cast a Q? No, I'd rather you actually get Berserk up on everybody. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually have Joseph throw a high potion at Minwoo. I want to keep Minwoo's HP as high as possible, just in case the Emperor decides explicitly to mess with him. So... Had to be a cutscene. They had clean and even HP values. Yeah, and you know, that's true. If anybody had OCD, that cutscene probably made them pretty happy. Like, start a recording at the beginning of the fight against Dark Emperor and end the clip as the end cutscene starts. Then use the last however long of the clip for that scene here. Yes, exactly. Yep, that would have been exactly what I would have done if this had been like a regular... If I had done this on YouTube and I had done it, edited it in post, I would have done it exactly like that. I would have basically just cut it in such a way that it would have showed a clip, like a bit of the clip of showing us doing the fight, so... It probably wouldn't have been as many crazy, ridiculous spells being thrown around as there were being thrown around there, but, you know, it's fine. So that Dispel, if he uses Blaze 16 now, Scott, Joseph, and Ricard will take about 160? No, 180 damage from that, so... It won't be quite so good for them, but we should be fine. Alright, everybody go all in this turn. I want to see some damage. That's some damage. Why is the defender still doing more than the ultimate weapon that's in your other hand? What the hell is happening? Alright, Ultima! Send this man to the great beyond. I'm going to use the target all spell version next time, because, yeah, that's the damage. Alright, there we go. Okay, this might hurt a little bit. It's a good thing I got Shell up on Minwoo. Because here comes the meteor again! Okay, that's fine. I mean, Joseph got hit for a bit, but we can deal with that next turn, so... You know, as long as he doesn't cast Starfall 16 again. Not that he'll get a chance, because we killed him with Ultima. Hell yeah, Minwoo, kick his ass. Can you dispel a dispel cast? Probably not in this game. Maybe in Final Fantasy 1, because as far as I know, dispel's really bizarre in 1, but, you know. Either way, that's the Light Emperor defeated. He only had 25,000 HP. We got in there without getting Minwoo above 1,000 HP. Joseph only barely made it, and Ricard only barely made it above 2,000, so that will work. I think it will, because once we're done with you, I'm pretty sure we're going to pass on. Bye. Your spell brought us back, so that means that once you're dead, the spell will run out. Meanwhile, in Hell, yeah, as it turns out, they actually defeated the Light Emperor at almost the exact same time that Furion and his group defeated the Dark Emperor. And because both of his halves have been destroyed in the afterlife, there's no possible way of him coming back. At least not to our knowledge. They never made a sequel, so... And now we get to watch the ending cutscenes again, although this time Minwoo and his group will have a few things to say. And also, Elena and Kain are here. They weren't here in the original version of the cutscene, so there you go. So it's going to be similar, but Minwoo and everybody else are going to be sitting in the background watching everybody talk, so... Well, we can find out now. Scott, what do you think? Yeah, fair enough. Excuse me. Despite being the light half, he probably still had the ego of the original Emperor. That's the problem, right? Is that it was absolute light and absolute dark, and if the man is irredeemable at the start, it doesn't matter if he's light or dark. He's just going to be an asshole no matter what. He was already a dickhead, so there wasn't much better that he could get, even if he ended up in heaven. So... Unfortunately, there's no characters that are directly related to Paul. I mean, I guess if Sid was here in the cutscene, he could have said something about Paul, but... Still think your choice of words there was a little bit interesting there, Layla, but, you know. We'll just end on that note. Phrasing, again. Just love how the Emperor's soul split into both halves had the same idea. Seize the means of production and take over. Yeah, he's pretty one-note about it, but if I'm honest with you, the Emperor, in my opinion, is probably one of the most threatening villains in the series, because you kill him, and his ambitions are so great that he not only takes over Hell, which he managed to bring the demons from Hell in the first place, he takes over Hell, but he also takes over Heaven. Like... I don't know, that to me is like, you have both of the afterlives in your hands. It doesn't matter where anybody goes in the thing, until you get stopped, like, everybody's screwed. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's pretty damn threatening, all things considered. Some other villains in the series wish they could be that threatening. So... But yeah, the reason why they have Elena and Kain here is obviously to give Ricard some sort of an attachment to this scene. If they weren't here, he wouldn't have any attachment to the people here. So, I mean, he would have a vague attachment to Hilda because he helped her, but, you know. And I guess they gave Kain the Wyvern at the end of the whole thing. That's cool. It's too bad Kain in Final Fantasy IV doesn't actually ride on a Wyvern anywhere. He just kind of jumps everywhere. He's like Superman, or the Hulk. And exit stage left. Or is it stage right in this case? Yeah, that's still not true, Maria. It wasn't true a couple episodes ago, and it's still not true now. It's difficult for us to change our nature. We've killed so many. But that was war. And now it's peace, so... we can find forgiveness in the things that we do after the war. If we rebuild, the people will forgive us for the people that we've killed. Or they won't. They'll just think we're irredeemable forever, but at the very least we will have tried. We already kind of went over this in the Final Fantasy XIV streams, which, now that I'm thinking about it, I may have taken a few hints from this game in terms of my thought process at the end of that, where I was like, yeah, no, I'll find forgiveness in rebuilding from all the people that we killed. I think it was subconscious, though, because I didn't even think about Final Fantasy II in terms of, like, story progression similarities when I played it, so... in terms of it versus 14, that is, so... At this point, we can all pass on, knowing that they will carry the world for us. So off they go. And that's it. They pass on, knowing that their legacy will be ended on a more positive note. And we get the same ending cutscene as we did before. I already read this one, so... but it's the same thing. The Emperor in heaven and hell will have vanished. I think the people of Mackinac are probably pretty confused at this point, because they killed the Light Emperor and then they're like, oh, we're passing on now into the Great Beyond? Okay, well, goodbye, everybody. Like, what happened to the town? Who's gonna take over heaven? Does Lucifer... no, Lucifer's dead, we killed him. Like, unless Sid's just gonna decide to take over heaven at this point. I mean, who's left? Who's left to take over? I mean, God's gone. The Light Emperor's gone. I don't even know where God went. The Light Emperor sent him somewhere. We never saw him. Oh boy. Lots of questions, but we know that the world is saved, and the afterlives have been saved, so now people can die in peace. And that's Soul of Rebirth, everybody. So that is the end of the streams for Final Fantasy II. It came to an end faster than I thought it was going to, but like I said, we had some good luck with our drops. We actually didn't get all the ribbons that I wanted, but we got 2 Aegis shields, and that made up for it, because we had 2 shield users. I'm glad that it didn't end up, like, kicking me in the ass, because I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna have Scott use 2 swords, and then it's like, oh, I don't have a second Aegis shield user. No, we had one, so worked out pretty nicely. As far as Soul of Rebirth goes, I actually kind of enjoy its gameplay loop. Pretty good. It's like the main game's progression is a little bit more of a not a casual curve, but like a slope. It's like a small slope, like a what I'm trying to think of. It doesn't like spike up, you know what I mean? It's like a gradual slope that it elevates to. Excuse me, in order to make it difficult. As for Soul of Rebirth, they immediately stick you in hostile territory with no way of going to an inn. And they give you 2 characters, they give you a bunch of enemies, and they say, figure it out. And then, obviously, by the time you get to the end of that place, I mean, you get down to the basement 4th floor, you're already almost done with the place, and then you get Ricard, and it's like, okay, cool, Ricard can take care of all of this because he has lots of HP, his stats are really high, so he's our best character. But the funny thing about that is that you get Ricard, and he's like your, strongest link. Then if you get Ultima, it's like, okay, cool, we got Ultima. And then Minwu becomes just as strong as Ricard. Not on stats, but he has as strong of an attack. So everybody sort of escalates really quickly. It spikes up in difficulty very early, but you spike up in power almost as quickly, and you end up meeting the challenge over time. Granted, the drop rates thing is kind of iffy in terms of like, okay, well, that's where your progression kind of comes from. You do get your stats, like you don't have to worry about leveling stats very much because it's just like, okay, you get 1 pair of Thief's Gloves. Hopefully Ricard had a pair of Thief's Gloves when you brought him into the afterlife. And by the way, I wouldn't even bother buying any of the armor in the shops that's like the heavy armor because you're just shooting yourself in the foot at that point, so I wouldn't even bother with that. It's just heavy gear. There's no light gear available in the shops, so the shields are the only things I would consider buying. Well, okay, there is one piece of light gear, the clothes, but really, who's going to go through Soul of Rebirth with clothes on? Like, come on. Black robes or black garb are probably your best bet, or power sash. White robe, if you can get a drop. Lucifer drops it. So, but yeah, no, I like the gameplay loop of it because it takes this game that is a gradual slope, and sometimes, if you know what you're doing, it's hard for the vanilla Final Fantasy II to be difficult because you can kind of just destroy it. And Soul of Rebirth says, it doesn't matter if you're good at this game, it's still going to give you a run for your money in the beginning. They give you some healing items, but that's all you get. So, yeah, no, I enjoy the gameplay loop of Soul of Rebirth. It's interesting, it makes for a challenging boss fight in the Ultima weapon, and just progressing that quickly, it just feels like it's like a nice shot in the arm every time you progress really quickly, every time you get an ultimate weapon, every time you get the drop that you want. it's a nice little shot in the arm. So it's a different kind of gameplay loop from the original game, and I can kind of appreciate it for that. Overall, I'd say Soul of Rebirth is probably my favorite form of bonus content in the series that I've played. There's very little competition that I could see in the series that would compete with this. Most of the post-game content is, in my opinion, not nearly as interesting of a gameplay loop as Soul of Rebirth is. So, yeah, overall, it's pretty great. I didn't really make good comparisons. You know, yeah, that may be a thing. God was away on vacation this entire time. That's why everything that happened. He's going to get back and be like, what the hell happened here? Where's Lucifer? Why do I need to put someone else in hell? He's going to get back and be so confused. I took 3 days of PTO, and heaven and hell are all a mess now. Oh, but yeah, so, I don't know. It'd be pretty funny. The other thing that I didn't really get to do any comparison of between this game is the way that this game influenced the Saga series, specifically Final Fantasy Legend 2, which we already played for the stream. I kind of talked about it a little bit over the course of the streams, but I feel like this game was kind of the proto, like the beta version of the Final Fantasy Legend series, because a lot of the mechanics that you'll see in this game and the DNA that this game has, you'll see in the Final Fantasy Legend series. Legend 1 was kind of more of an experiment on the Game Boy so that Square could, you know, get used to the new hardware. So it had some of the gameplay elements from this game, but they were arguably even more broken than they are in this game. But a lot of the DNA is shared with Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2. 3 a little bit less so, because 3 has a little bit more traditional RPG elements in it. But 2 specifically is like full shades of this game. Like, they took a bunch of stuff from this game and they said, okay, so how can we improve it? Now, granted, the strength stat in Final Fantasy Legend 2 is just about as useless as it is in Final Fantasy 2. Like, in Final Fantasy 2, at least it gives you some accuracy. Agility is still busted in Legend 2. Agility still affects preemptive strikes, ambushes, the damage of some weapons. It's generally the better offensive stat between it and strength, but I think that's just kind of a part of the whole Saga series, and the DNA of that comes from this. So, in a way, this project is sort of an anthropology project as well, to sort of give you an idea of this is where these spin-off series came from. Because they did not continue this trend of you are what you do with the remaining games in the Final Fantasy series. They did, but in a different spin. They did it in a different spin with the job system in Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 5, which we'll see later on, because we will be covering both of those games, and I actually do enjoy both of those games a pretty good chunk. Final Fantasy V specifically is my favorite in the series of the mainline games. And Final Fantasy III, I gotta see if I think it's number 5 or number 6 on my list, honestly. It's gonna depend. I think I have to play 15 again all the way through in order to really tell you if it's number 5 or number 6, because 3... Marie's gonna hate that I'm saying this, but 3 has a lot of interesting mechanics to it, just like 2 does. There's hidden values to a whole bunch of stuff that change the values of your damage, that make certain things work, and it's just, I think it's really interesting to break down. So I'm looking forward to that project when we do it as well, but for now, we can rest on our laurels because we've not only cleared the regular game of Final Fantasy II, we've also cleared Soul of Rebirth. Not too bad. So overall, I need to see how many hours we did, and that'll let you know how we did in Final Fantasy II. It's been a long time coming for this project, I'll be honest. I've been meaning to do it for quite a long time, but now it's done, and we got it in about 29 hours, it looks like. So that's not too bad. I'll take that, you know. 11 streams, not too bad either. I was expecting about 12, so it worked out pretty nicely. Either way, that's it for Soul of Rebirth and Final Fantasy II. That means this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we will be starting a new project that I need to go install. We're going back on the PS5 for the next game that we're playing. And from what I understand, the game can be considered somewhat of a legend in its time. And that's fair, because I think the game is in a league of its own. But we will show that one off this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time when we will be playing it. And if you took those words literally, don't, because it's not League of Legends. Don't worry. I would not play League of Legends for the stream. I don't even know how to play League of Legends, so that would be a mistake. That's all I know. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. I hope you enjoyed our playthrough of Soul of Rebirth in Final Fantasy II. I think it was interesting, and I'm glad that I got to play it in a similar vein to how we played the regular game, where we didn't end up with massive HP pools because we got hit too many times. So it's always nice to see the mechanics work for you rather than you work for the mechanics, you know. Either way, until Friday, everybody, or wherever I see you next around the internet, I hope that you'll take care and have a good one. Now the real question is going to be, do I go back and get 100% Bestiary now that I know that this one's like 95% done? I think if I wasn't playing Final Fantasy VI off the stream, I might consider doing it, but I don't know. With that and school coming up, I've got a summer class. I think I've already got enough to do, thanks very much.